Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Live Ones. It's Saturday, December 18th, 2021. Only 6 shopping days left until Christmas. And obviously, with Christmas being on a Saturday, they absolutely loaded up this weekend with all of the marquee sports imaginable. It's an absolutely stacked day today. 74 games of college basketball, 6 bowl games, 7 NBA games, 8 NHL games, the Colts Patriots game tonight, and UFC Fight Night. And it's a good thing that they have all of that because events just keep getting postponed left and right thanks to the Omicron variant. There's literally too many to list in a 20-minute show. Nonetheless, we're coming off a bad night. We're back to even on the week, but it's a big day. We've got a lot to go over. Let's get right to it, and we are going to start with Fresno State and UTEP. There's absolutely nothing special about the UTEP Miners. They got the benefit of an absolute cakewalk schedule to start the year, piled up the wins early on to get themselves bowl eligible, and then they showed us who they really were down the stretch, losing 4 out of their last 5 to FAU, UTSA, North Texas, and UAB to come in 8th place in Conference USA. They barely managed to handle Rice. Rice, for crying out loud. Fresno State, on the other hand, looked phenomenal once they got into conference play, only losing to Boise State in a really tough conference and utterly dominating the eventual champions in San Diego State. Their offense is top tier, notching 463 yards and 34 points a game, and their defense is nice and stout against both the run and the pass, averaging only 20 points given up a game all year long. I know Fresno State's going through some turmoil right now with their head coach and their offensive coordinator both leaving and their starting quarterback, Jake Haener, almost leaving along with them, but Haener decided to stay and lead his team, and I think this game could be some much-needed therapy for them. I expect the Bulldogs to run all over the Miners today and win it by at least 2 touchdowns. So give me Fresno State minus 11 points here today. Over to the Independence Bowl, and I'll tell you what, with a resume that includes 10 wins, 6 of them over Power 5 teams, and finishing number 13 in the country, drawing UAB in the Independence Bowl has to be a huge letdown for BYU. That's the nature of being an independent, which is not going to be a problem for the Cougars for too much longer with them going into the Big 12. Even so, you have to wonder if they've got the motivation to get up for this game. UAB obviously has no such problem. This is their only their 5th bowl game in the program's history. They're going to come out of the gates hungry and ready to go. The problem with that, there's still an enormous talent differential between these two squads. BYU's stocked with future NFL talent like quarterback Jaron Hall, running back Tyler Algier, and left tackle Blake Freeland. Easy for me to say. UAB's 8-4 resume contains only 2 wins over teams that made a bowl this year, and one of those 2 teams is UTEP. The fact that no players on BYU are opting out of this game, including the future NFL draft prospects, shows me that they're taking this game at least half seriously. And half of BYU's effort is going to be more than enough to cover a touchdown spread against UAB. Give me BYU minus 6.5 points today. Over to college hoops, and like I said, we've got a stacked day today, and first game we're going to take a look at is Baylor and Oregon. Baylor is 9-0 and back to the number 1 overall ranking in college hoops, despite their offense really struggling against Villanova on Sunday. Fortunately, their defense remains one of the most dominant units in the country. Apart from Purdue, I think Baylor has the most depth of great two-way guys on their roster, with LJ Cryer leading the way, Kendall Brown, James Kinjo, again, easy for me to say, and JTT all providing that great punch at both ends of the court. Oregon is sitting at 6-5, down near the very bottom of the Pac-12, and they've been a horrible spread team all year long. The Ducks' defense is terrible in the paint. They allow almost 45% from the floor and 34% from the arc. Their offense is lackluster in both first chance and second chance points, and they're having a distinct problem the past couple of games with getting any of their free throws to land. Pretty much all they do above average is 3-point shooting, and Baylor's got great arc protection on its defense to handle that just fine. Oregon hasn't covered a spread against a major team since November 12th. I know they're the home team tonight, but it's just not even a contest. The Bears should roll all over these guys by like 12 or 13 points or better when it's all said and done. So give me Baylor minus 7 points tonight. Over to the Big East and Xavier and Marquette, and we're getting into the point in the season where we really have to take stock of a team's previous output and see just how much of it was due to the opponents they faced, for good or for ill. The Marquette Golden Eagles have been solid on offense this year, but that was just not the case in their last game as they scored just 56 points in a loss against UCLA. Golden Eagles have now averaged just 60 points a game in their last 2 after putting up 76 points a game in their first 9. That's bad news, as Xavier is another phenomenal defensive basketball team and just not someone you want to be having to try and get your offense right against. They've gotten off to a strong 10-1 start to their year, and they come in having won their last 6 games in a row. Not only are they 10-1 straight up this year, but they're also 9-2 against the spread. Their offense is top third in the country, averaging 76 points a game. Where they really excel and where I think the edge is today is on second chances. Xavier is the 23rd ranked rebounding team in the country, averaging almost 39 offensive rebounds a game. Marquette's defense is near the absolute bottom of the country on the glass, 324th in the nation. Xavier should be able to have another above-average day against a Golden Eagles team that's really struggled to contain opposing teams from the floor or from the arc. I think they can put up a total in the low 80s today. With Marquette's struggles on offense and Xavier's solid defense, I think it's a walk in the park for the Musketeers today. Give me Xavier minus 10 points. LSU, holy crap, LSU, 10-0, 9-1 against the spread. The only game they didn't cover was against Penn State, and it was a crazy game that went to overtime, and honestly, they still didn't miss it by much. How are they getting it done? Defense, 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 baby. This is one of the most physical teams you'll find anywhere in college basketball right now. 53 points a game allowed on defense, 33% from the floor allowed, both number one in the country. 25% from the arc, their opponents shoot. That's number 12 in the country. This team just saps your will to live out from you. 53 points given up to Georgia Tech, 51 to Ohio, 61 to Wake Forest. Bad enough news for Louisiana Tech, but it looks like La Tech's now going to be without their all-conference forward and arguably their second-best player in Isaiah Crawford, who's going to miss the remainder of the season due to a knee injury. So chop off some more points from La Tech's total. I have a feeling La Tech's going to struggle to hit 60 today, like most other teams do when they play LSU, and the Tigers don't go crazy on offense. They're happy to cut it off in the high 60s or low 70s when they've got a solid enough lead late. LSU's last 8 games have all gone under the total, and I see no reason why this one shouldn't as well. Give me the under 144.5 today. Over to Saturday Night NFL. That's right, you heard that right. We're getting to that time of the year. And the one game tonight is the Colts and the Patriots. New England won its last game while attempting just 3 passes, so you got to figure Mac Jones' arm is going to be good and rested. The Colts are 7-6. They've won 4 out of the last 5 games. They're excelling on the ground behind NFL rushing leader Jonathan Taylor. Both of these offenses actually have shown they can put up some really high point totals. In point of fact, they combined to average 55.4 points per game through the season to date. Which is why this total of 44.5 feels really low to me. I know the Patriots' defense is spectacular, tops in the league in terms of points allowed, but they've played some really crap offenses, haven't they? The Jets twice, the Dolphins, the Texans, the Panthers, the Falcons. Not to take anything away from what they've accomplished, but those stats are just a little bit inflated. They also gave up 28 to the Saints, 35 to the Cowboys, 24 to the Chargers. Let's not crown their defense just yet. Both of these offenses are really solid. They can and should put up 24 or more points against the other's defense. Give me the over 44.5 points tonight. None of these 7 NBA games look interesting to me today. There's just a whole lot of COVID issues going on in the NBA right now. So we're going to move on to the NHL. Canucks and the Maple Leafs. And the Canucks are on a roll under their new coach, Bruce Boudreau, and they will be striving for their 7th straight win tonight when they host Toronto. The Maple Leafs have won 2 in a row, including a 5-1 victory over the host Edmonton Oilers on Tuesday. Both of these teams are dealing with some absences due to COVID, but Toronto's just missing a whole lot more key pieces tonight, including John Tavares, Alexander Kerfoot, and Wayne Simmons. That's a major dip in production that you just can't replace with the next guys up right there. I really like the role Vancouver's on right now. I think they get the job done against a depleted Maple Leafs team at home tonight, and you're getting a really great value price for the money line at plus 115. Go ahead and grab it. And last but not least, over to UFC Fight Night, and we're going to take a look at something that we almost never do, and we're going to take a look at the main event tonight. Chris Dalkos versus the Black Beast, and Dalkos is certainly getting a trial by fire, isn't he? 4 fights into his UFC career, and he's got to go in there against the Black Beast, just coming off fighting for the title, and at a 30-pound weight disadvantage to boot. This is likely to be a slaughter. Derek Lewis is one of the strongest men I've ever seen in the octagon. He doesn't grapple. If he mounts you, it's to get you into a better position to just wail on you with his right hand until you're knocked out. I just don't see Dalkos and his jiu-jitsu background being able to do much against Lewis. He's got really good takedown defense. We saw what happened when he went up against Curtis Blades, tried the takedown game. The Black Beast was having none of it. I fully expect Lewis to take Dalkos' head off as soon as he's close enough to punch. I don't see this fight lasting long. Heavyweight fights rarely do. There's a great prop on FanDuel for Lewis to win in under 2.5 rounds, which you can get at plus 250, and that's a much, much better value than the general over-under of 1.5 rounds at even money. If you're backing Lewis tonight, which I am, that's the prop that you want to grab tonight. Lewis to win in under 2.5 rounds, plus 250. Take it. That is my 8th and final play for the day. Everyone bet safe, stay safe. Follow us on Twitter at Live One Sports. Check us out on Roku and Fire TV at the Live Ones. Have yourselves a great Saturday, and we will see you tomorrow.